Hi, I'm Terry, and I'm nuts about stamping. I'm back today with another Sundays with Sizzix project. It's a wedding card that I made using my Big Shot. Here are the supplies that I used. I have my Big Shot, my platform, my 2 standard cutting pads, and I used 2 different embossing folders. I used the Square Lattice Textured Impressions Embossing folder, and I used the Vintage Wallpaper Textured Impressions Embossing folder. For cardstock, I used Whisper White, Basic Gray, and Basic Black. I used my Curly Cute stamp set with the Congratulations image, and I used Clear Block H because mine's a clear mount stamp set. For adhesives, I used my mini glue dots, my Anywhere glue stick, and my snail adhesive. I used some basic black 1-inch grosgrain ribbon. I used my full heart punch, my ribbon cutting scissors, and I think the last thing I used was my jewels, the basic pearl jewels, and I used my paper piercing tool to help me pick up and transfer the jewels, so I have that on my supply list. And then I used my bone folder. All right, I'll clear off my space and I will show you how to use your Big Shot to create the background images. Back in a moment. All right, I'm back and I'm ready to go on using my Big Shot to create the layers for the front of the card. So the first thing you want to do is take your full heart punch and you want to punch out 2 white hearts. Use it from the Whisper White cardstock. I have a couple of scraps here I want to use up. And you want to punch 1 basic black heart. All right, then what you want to do before you create anything else for your card is you want to use your embossing folders to emboss 1 white heart and 1 black heart. This white heart I'm going to put aside and I'll show you what to do with that in a bit. I'm going to start with the white heart and I am going to use my Vintage Wallpaper embossing folder. I want to have this center sort of flower image come through on my heart, and so I'll get my platform on tab 1, my bottom standard cutting pad. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. My embossing folder goes next, and then my top standard cutting pad, and I'll emboss that. There we go. And then the next thing I want to do is emboss the black heart. And I'm going to use the Square Lattice embossing folder. I'm going to put my heart inside there. A minute. I want the rough side on the bottom. And I'm also at the same time going to emboss the basic gray layer for my card. So I can do 2 at one time. Same sandwich, platform, bottom standard cutting pad, embossing folder. Looks like I picked up a piece of scrap white cardstock. There we go. All right, here we go. Run it through now. All right. I have everything ready then to finish off my card. So there are my embossed images for the front of my card. All right, so here's what I did. The first thing I did was I folded my Whisper White card base in half and I stamped the congratulations on the front using my basic black classic ink pad, which I forgot to tell you about. There's actually 3 additional things I forgot to put on the supply list. I'll have the complete list of supplies on my blog when I'm done this video, so you can pop on over there and check everything out. So I stamped the congratulations, then the next thing I did was I layered my basic black cardstock on the front of the card. Then, although it looks like I have a completely full piece of Whisper White cardstock under the basic gray layer, I don't. I have a 1-inch wide strip here that I used my scallop trim border punch on, which is one of the other things I forgot to mention. I've got a 1-inch strip here, and then I have a 1/2-inch strip up here, and then I tuck both of those pieces under the basic gray embossed layer. Now when I adhered anything to my basic gray, anytime I emboss a layer with my embossing folders, I use my Anywhere glue stick to adhere it down. If you try snail adhesive, it might tear the fibers of the paper. So I have my basic black layer, my 2 Whisper White pieces attached to my basic gray layer, and then I adhered that onto the card front. And then the last thing I did was I adhered using my Anywhere glue stick the 2 embossed hearts on the front. Then what I did was I took my second Whisper White heart, this one, and I took my paper snips and I just created a little V for the front of my card, like so, and I adhered it on using my Anywhere glue stick, just like that. You don't have to worry about it being perfect because you're going to then tie a little knot with the basic black 1/4 inch grosgrain ribbon and adhere it on with a mini glue dot, and that covers up any imperfections that you might have in your cutting. And then the very last thing I did was I took my paper piercing tool and I put 3 little pearls on the front of the black heart layer and then 1 little pearl in the center of the flower, which is why I was very particular as to what I wanted to have embossed on my flower. And that completes the card. It's a beautiful wedding card that I created for a colleague at work. Try this at home and tuck it away. You never know when you'll be invited to a wedding, or it could be an anniversary, and so on. I'm Terry. I am nuts about stamping. For a complete list of the supplies and the ingredients, please visit my blog, www.nutsaboutstamping.com. While on my blog, don't forget to subscribe to my customer newsletter. I have a newsletter coming out on Wednesday that you won't want to miss. It is going to show you the lists of the retired products that will be taken out of the idea book and catalog. You can also ask me a question, place an order, or you can browse through hundreds of other samples. I'm Terry. I'm nuts about stamping. See you next time. Bye for now.